Hi and welcome to christinescrafts.com. Today I'm going to show you how to sew on a button. In fact, I'm going to show you 3 different ways. So remember to subscribe below, hit the thumbs up, and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 different kinds of button. So the first one we've got is one with a shank on the back. It just means a little loop on the back, and I'll be showing you how to sew that on. A button with 2 holes in it, or a button with 4 holes in it. Now I'm using giant buttons and contrasting thread. Obviously you'll be using whatever button you need and presumably a matching thread. So the first thing we're going to do is take our thread and put a knot in the end. This will just help it to stay secure and not pull through your fabric, sorry. So from the right side, put your needle in, out again, just making a little stitch. And that's just to get us started, get us anchored on the thread. You can always do a couple of stitches, I chose not to. Now go through the shank and then repeat the first stitch you did. Very close to it, doesn't have to be in exactly the same place, but nice and close. Pull it through and there you go, your button's on, but not very secure. So through the shank again, through the fabric again. And you'll see I can just keep repeating those stitches in a very similar position, just so it's nice and tidy down there. You can do this as many times as you like. You can put lots to keep it nice and secure. Just keep going through the shank, going through the fabric. I'm not going to do too many times here because obviously you're watching. But once you're happy that it's all secure, you're going to do a little stitch into your fabric under there where it's going to be hidden. And then before you pull it tight, you're going to put your needle through the loop to form a little knot to secure your thread. I recommend repeating that. So you've got 2 little knots there. And you can cut off your thread and your button with a shank is sewn on beautifully and should stay nice and secure. So let's move on. The next one we're going to do is the one with 2 holes in it. Now it's unlikely your 2 holes are that big, but the same principle applies. Put a little stitch into your fabric and then come up from the bottom through your button. Your button may have a right way round, so just be careful. Then go back through the other hole and then a little stitch in the fabric. Pull everything tight. And then you're going to go back up through that first hole, back down through the second hole. Little stitch in the fabric. All the while keep pulling it tight so you don't end up with lots of big loops. Back up through the first hole, down through the second hole. Now you can do this as many times as you like. I tend to do quite a few to make sure mine's really secure. In this case I'm not going to do too many because again you're watching. Don't want to get bored rigid. Just keep going up through that hole, down through the other one. Once you're happy you've done enough, if you want to raise the button off the fabric slightly, which is very common, just take your yarn and wrap it around the threads behind the button. Perhaps 3 times, probably enough. Pull it tight and then you're going to do a little stitch under the button so it'll be nicely hidden. And before you pull it all the way through, you're going to put your needle through that loop. You can see mine's all twisting up. Just undo it, make sure you've got a straight loop and pull it tight. Just to be sure, another little stitch and another little knot. And then you can cut off your yarn and you've successfully sewn your button on. The wrapping the yarn round to give it a little shank is optional, it's entirely up to you. So we're going to move on now to our final one, which is our button with 4 holes in it. So we'll start the same as the others. We have a knot in our thread and we just do a little stitch into the fabric. And then we're going to bring our needle up through one of the holes in the button and then go back down diagonally opposite. It's not the only way of doing a 4-hole button, but it's the way we're going to do it today. Another little stitch. Pull it tight. Make sure everything's okay. And then we're coming back up through the same hole we started with. Back down the one diagonally opposite. You can do this as many times as you think it needs it. Okay, doesn't matter how many times I show you, you do as many of these as you think you need. Then once you're happy with it, you're going to do the same thing with the other pair of holes. So you come up one of the other holes and down the diagonally opposite one. So what's going to happen is your stitches are going to be crossed over, so you're forming a cross on the top of your button. Little stitch underneath. Then we're going to go back up through the hole we just came up last time and back down again. Again, repeat for as many times as you feel you want to put on your button. And when you've finished, it's up to you. Do your little stitch. It's up to you whether you do the wrapping of the yarn to form a shank or whether you just want to be finished. So, assuming you want to do your wrapping, make sure everything's tight. Wrap it round. As I say, I'm going to do it 3 times. And then feed your needle through to make a little stitch so that you can knot your thread to keep it secure. So before the loop pulls through, put your needle through, pull it tight. Repeat again, just to be sure that it's not going to pull through. So a little stitch, and then put the needle through the loop, pull it tight. You can cut it off, and that'll be your button fastened on successfully. So now you can sew on any button you like, one with a shank, one with 2 holes, or one with 4 holes. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Good luck doing your buttons. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe below so that you can catch all my other videos, lots of crafting videos, and give us a thumbs up. Any comments welcome. Thank you.